Well, we do whatever it takes to get the car back on the field.
Where'd you get those blue gloves from? I'm wearing blue gloves too.
Rick's provided them for me.
Well, why aren't you wearing a set of gloves?
They're right there. I neglected to put them on.
I freaking hate getting grease on my fingers. I'm too hoity-toity. I'm going to the Lincoln Navigator show after this and the Cadillac Escalade show after this.
That's where everybody does the work on your cars and you don't actually do it
Excuse
yourself.
me, Katie?
Yeah, you hire a guy in a white suit.
Sure, exactly.
His name is Hans or whatever. Well,
$20 an hour labor rate.
we're putting things back together here. Mr. R.A.L. had a little problem here, but nothing these well-equipped, competent mechanics can't repair. We don't allow photographs here at this event.
Give you another one.
Gloves Plus. Livera Performance is effectuating some slopping on the silicone repairs.
Find a bearing? Yeah. I had to drive to Davenport, Iowa to get it, but I found it.
Is this a standard
bearing?
No, I needed a 10 under. Problem.
Okay.
I found several standards.
Sure.
I just could not. Oh, I didn't even see what you're doing. I bought gaskets from Mike.
You don't need them.
That'll work.
This here is welded up.
It's hanging on the
Rick?
end.
Oh.
It's all been ported.
Oh, so you cut it open and you put it, you weld it back together. I see.
The Levesque Master there.
I don't know if I trust him.
Your car made it home, and I swore I wouldn't let it go.
You know something? I haven't done a thing to that car since you put it together. Nothing. I changed the oil. I've done nothing to it. I haven't even adjusted the idle. Four-wheel disc brakes. We're teasing this poor guy here, and he's working hard to get this thing back to the track. It is. We want to watch that fender when we pop this door open very carefully.
Yeah, I lowered it, and it doesn't clear the fenders now.
Yes, it does. Whoop, halfway. Halfway. This 63 Monza Spider has got every John Fitch Sprint option. Shifter extender, grab bar for the passenger, sprint wheel, power top, flash to pass right beside the cigarette lighter, seat belts. It has got a roll bar for racing purposes, headrests. I know a guy that makes YouTube videos and he specializes in adjusting doors so they close perfectly. You in competition? I think he's stealing my thunder.
Way it goes.
That is beautiful. I was working on a 69 Yenko Stinger inside, and you gotta slam that door. What a beautiful four-wheel disc brake conversion. Got some 15-inch hands lookalike wheels.
Got 2-inch drop spindles in the front. Some gold coil cut out.
If you didn't have this bloody spoiler, I could get underneath this thing, but can't see a thing. Lowered. This man races it. It's foot to the floor. As long as he can.
Until the rods let go.
Fitch Sprint until it spins the bearing. Anyways, no problemo. We'll fix that. We got drop-down grill guards. Four-wheel disc brakes. Eelco accessories. Convertible meant for racing.
After that. So when this engine comes back out, we can make that a little bit nicer.
Beautiful.
It's in there.
And we're all tented up and we're not getting wet. Parked right beside it. Wide-bodied late model. Bulging fenders. Look at this motor. Yikes. Uh-oh. Wait a second.
Everything I took the
Bam belt's off. Oh, jeez. Maybe it's got a rocker girdle. Wow. I can't even begin to tell you all the modifications here. Larger exhaust tubes. Finned oil pan. Heavy duty. Crank triggered ignition maybe? Don't know. Livera Performance. A man spinning the wrenches. This ain't no amateur mechanic. Let me just go over and see if he's dribbling from his chin. You a dribble chin mechanic?
Oh, probably. Depending on the time of year. And you always
Well,
know.
So does it reduce the horsepower drag then all the time with the cooling?
Right.
I wanted it to raise my
But
what's the linkage?
I caution people, don't put it on green briars and stuff you're going to set in
I wanted
islands.
to actually cut
it
the weld
reduces the
across
flow.
But it also reduces cavitation at higher speed, which makes a big air pocket.
fan
That's what that disc
over the
does. It's like
bearing
a
out
giant
without
CD.
really
You can't
jerking
play
that
it
linkage around, or losing
Yeah, we
one
quit
side
doing
and
that. We just slow down the fan. It does the same thing.
with a bigger pulley.
Right.
Right, like the auto one, an adjustable. I've got a few of those. You can step them up and down. I bought a couple of
The
those.
thing wrong with those is
Should I,
the belt still
enlarge
runs the
the
same
gas
speed
level?
map sometimes. It tells you anything you need to know about a Corvair fan.
We really don't
Because
need
it's
to
operating exactly like a turbocharger compressor.
You can take these off, they're not being used.
Same places where it quits working and all that stuff. Goes into surge.
Just leave them sticking out. That way
have
the
the
surge
surge
crowds out.
compressor map.
It was almost all the way out then.
Nothing new there. And if you want to know how to make the correct fan, you duplicate the 60 out of some lighter material.
Yeah, I like the 60 fan.
Well, it's the best, but no one's been able to do it. It's the worst flywheel. You had to accelerate that plastic thing, decelerate it. But everybody thinks General Motors was stupid. They knew how to make the best fan. They
I got the
researched.
top cover on. I just noticed what we have here is a pounded connecting rod bearing on it. How old is this motor? 15?
15 years old.
15 years old.
The other side.
This is the good side.
That's
This
the good
this
side.
this is the outside.
Did you find anything wrong, like the bolt?
So the inside. Where is the other one? Where
I
is it?
didn't see anything wrong. The crank is damaged. It's got lumps in it, but this may last the autocross.
Yeah, he's going to put in a lump smoother. That's what you did, right? 10 thousandths oversized.
Where's the other bearing, Rick? You got the other shell?
I do, but I'm trying to think where.
Oh,
It's
got a
over
couple
on the
bolts.
truck.
Couple bolts up here. There, get her done.
Those are the.
I'm curious to see inside his oil.
Back shroud,
What kind of failure he had.
crossover tube. Whoop.
I hate slick motors.
Needs a little bit of grading on there. Anti-slip.
Well, Mike will do anything to get away from Tracy.
Whoa! We got some heat coming out here. Jeez.
That reached up and touched the hot wire.
Yeah.
You want there?
Yeah, get that out.
Got a pair of needle nose. Whoop. Sorry to have to capture that on YouTube. It's a miserable thing, huh?
You alright? Yeah, it didn't do anything. I thought it was going to melt my gloves to me.
See that? May I see that bearing, son?
I would say that rod needs, well, sorry, all that needs resized. I'd say the rod isn't round.
More 960.
1993. May 93 is the date stamp. It's at least a 15-year-old motor.
Well, I think that's what you knew was. Yeah. It was rebuilt 15 years ago.
There you go.
Customers probably don't want to see that.
Let's check the mud.
I've got a friend of mine.
Check the sludge.
An automotive machine shop, owns has for a living.
Iced tea tumbler. Battery cable.
Putting an engine back together.
Next.
And
Spring. Return spring.
That's the way he gets it down.
Should I change oil before starting it, or just see what goes?
why did you down?
I changed it.
Before starting it?
Yeah.
Some people just
You've
don't
got
understand when I pick up
Sludge in there. You're going to pump it right back through the bearings that have it.
It'd go through the filter though, wouldn't it, first?
Yeah, right.
I mean,
We could put a little dam there of some cat litter or something. Oh, jeez. First time this Corvair ever leaked oil, huh? We got your thumb in the dike.
Heat thing is in progress. Pardon? Heat thing is in progress. What is it?
It's supposed to pull out. It's not supposed to pull all.
This is so interesting. Here we register for the welcome party? Yes, it is. Well, if this
This is
engine makes
fun.
noise, watch how fast we can hit it.
I'll be with you.
Putting an engine together. And we hadn't done anything. We've
Will
just
this be one that's already open? No. Okay.
Yeah, that was.
we drained all the oil. I think we put O-rings or something in it, but we didn't get the internals of the engine apart. And I heard the thing go rrr, 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 and I looked over at the car and there was no oil cans laying behind it. And I knew he was too lazy to walk across the shop and put them in the trash can.
One of those.
Oh!
No good.
He goes, what? I said, you put oil back in it? Oh, God.
Big
I mean,
Guy on YouTube sent me a message. He says, I got a Blazer, I bought brand new, 170,000 miles. Should I change the transmission oil? I said, yeah, change it. If it's going to fail, it's going to fail. He calls me a week later. He says, I just had an engine failure. I lost oil pressure. The engine's rattling like crazy. I took off the valve covers. There's no oil under the valve covers. So he took off the pan, and inside the oil pump pickup, he found a lot of little chunks. I said, oh, it's a nylon timing gear. No, just change that. It was a steel gear, and I put a steel gear back. So he put the new oil pump in with the shaft with the steel collar on the small block Chevy, started it up, no oil pressure. Calls me up an hour later. He says, found the problem. He just had the distributor changed at the local shop because it was cutting out when it was hot. To put a new distributor in. Didn't tighten the hole down, and after 2 weeks, the distributor eased itself up, still turning on the cam, but disengaged from the oil pump. Took off the oil pan, the bearings looked all right. I said, you better go see them at the garage. You may have a big problem there. You may have wiped up the cam. He said, it's the new cam, just put it in a year ago. Shit happens, huh? Just forget to tighten the bolt on the hole down, and the distributor just eased up slowly till it lifted up the bracket from flat like that, lifted it up. And the distributor's sitting a half inch above the intake manifold. I'll find out the story.
It's a fairly newer vehicle. The computer probably kept making up for the distributor movement.
It's a 90, so no, it wouldn't have that. He would have lost a little power because when the distributor's coming up, it turns slightly. Mm-hmm. It'll rotate slightly.
That's all right.
He may have lost a bit of power. I don't know how he drives it, but anyways, that was a few days ago. I'm sure the story will come out of what the garage is going to say. I said, don't expect much. So you know how to do small claims? You're never going to accept blame. It didn't happen the day he drove away. It happened a couple weeks later.
I knew a girl that went to a Jiffy Lube place, and they just sent her away, and she got to put oil back in it.
That's why I put the oil jugs. The first thing I do is when I start the oil job is put the oil jugs on top of the motor. You get talking on the phone, you're making a YouTube video, and people are talking to you, and you're trying to concentrate, and then you think of something you want to say, and next thing you know. On the other hand here, we're all being careful on your behalf, because we don't want to be pushing this thing. That's hard work. Oil line, fuel line, oil filters tightened up, magnets back on, distributor, ignition, coil wire.
Hey, Michael, he just did that and didn't end up with...
It might have been tightened on more than the other one. It might have been only on a thread or two. The throttle's hooked up, the spring's back
The
on.
last person who touched it did it right. Probably going to be more than 4 quarts in there. Yeah.
I like those bottles that have a little clear stripe on the side so you can see what the level is. Ready to crank this baby up?
Try it. It won't make any noise to start with anyway.
So I told this fellow with the Blazer, I said, put an oil pressure gauge on, a quality with full sweep, a 270-degree sweep gauge with a copper hose, and wait till the engine's fully warmed up before the guys say, oh, it's fine, you got plenty of oil pressure. So it's got to run for half an hour. It's only oil pressure that matters. I just see a situation coming. Is that going to be all right? I feel bad with the camera going if it doesn't run well. Turn it off and throw it away.
You want to work the throttle, Michael?
Sure.
All right, everybody clear?
Yeah. Contact! Ignition!
I don't think it's a problem.
Oops.
Keep
Hang on.
going.
Not looking good.
Yes. You got no oil.
You know something? You may have broken your oil pump, and that spun the rod. Just was looking at your high volume pump that you cut away the skid plate for. I was just thinking maybe the shaft or something broke, or the pin in the gear. You could take the distributor out, put it at TDC, take the distributor out, and put a screwdriver down. You'll know right away.
Oh,
turn.
welcome out. It's pretty obvious.
That baby up.
Collins is to your left.
First thing you know, Jed's a millionaire. Can folks say, Jed, move away from there.
Real Social Security act was.
Yeah, that's just the. Well, I didn't know the theme from.
Be right back behind there.
Fortunately, I can sing it as well.
Black gold. So yeah, but this thing wasn't running for 30 seconds. It was running for a minute. There should have been more than enough oil.
Yeah, so why didn't that pump enough oil?
After 6 o'clock, guess so is beer time. Tip back a few cold ones.
The fan would normally cavitate or pull additional horsepower. It actually forces it to cavitate, allowing it to spin faster without the horsepower drop.
Oh, it forces it to cavitate. I see.
Think of a window fan. You put a piece of cardboard on it, the fan actually spins faster because it loses air, so it's spinning with less resistance.
Right. I understand.
So it's not pulling as much air because it can't, because there's not air there to pull. It actually would be a partial vacuum inside there where it's spinning freely. It's spinning faster.
Right. No, I understand. Makes sense.
Stock fan.
Start her up.
Crank this baby up.
Just turn the key.
Clear?
Yep.
Contact. Ignition. You know what that backfiring is? The valves aren't opening.
I know.
It's running backwards almost. Yep. Yeah, that's why I heard
Not
that.
pumping oil enough anyway.
Back to cam.
Well, the end of this story for tonight is no oil pressure, and tomorrow morning's a new day. So I got my bumper on my shoulder. I'm going to see the flea market. Got my bumper. Oh, it's a nice hair in Iowa.